My name is Rasel Madaha. Um, a lecturer at uh, Sokoine University of Agriculture in Tanzania. This is one of the public universities offering agricultural and allied sciences, including community development in Tanzania. We host students from Tanzania and from other African countries who are pursuing those courses. So my partner, who is going to be part of this presentation, who in a way helped me to create some of the um, these PowerPoints, is Brian Peters, and she works for Quality International Institute in Canada. So this is an institution which is focusing on asset-based community development, and they're targeting on empowering, communities so that they can make the best use of locally available resources. And this title of my presentation is African Transformative Feminism Against Patriarchy and Neoliberalism. And this is a title of my forthcoming book. So the presentation is about presenting some of the major arguments about this book so that people can be able to engage with what is being referred to as African transformative feminism. Now, the book is based on my expertise and experience of working with Tanzanian feminists who are mobilizing a movement against neoliberalism and patriarchy, so that they can be able to empower marginalized people who are the victims. Now, this is being labeled as African transformative feminism because it has grown into a unique form of feminism, which is empowering to marginalized people. So at the end of the 80th transformation or 80th intervention, then the marginalized people are being empowered. And this coalition of feminists is being hosted by Tanzania Gender Network Program, TGNP, which is a non-government organization, not-for-profit, based in Tanzania. It works as a national for-profit, national non-for-profit NGO, whose vision is to see a transformed Tanzanian society where there is gender equality, equity, and social justice. The mission of the TGNP is to build a transformative feminism movement for the social gender transformation and women's empowerment. So that is the mission of the organization. So I added the label African because there's some people who use transformative feminism just to show that this is a very unique kind of transformative feminism, which warrants attention. Now, just beginning with the framing of this topic, is that governments across the world and Tanzania and Canada, where my partner Brian is from, adopting a feminist international assistance, some kind of a feminist international assistance policy. The country in the global north and those in the global south are adopting, gender policies to ensure inclusiveness of women into their development agenda. So that is overall the general overall picture of these efforts. And so coming to the main topic, focusing on African transformative feminism, then I'm going to say that TGNP, which is a coalition of feminists launched Afghan transformative feminism in 1993, and this brought together uh, academicians and grassroots women to work together to deal with uh, neoliberalism and patriarchy, because those were forces which were giving hard time to uh, marginalized people. And by marginalized people, we refer to women, poor women, and men who are both victims of patriarchy and neoliberalism. So they came up with their context specific, um, tools and ways of ensuring that women benefit or survive from all these vices, and to create a powerful resistance uh, to protect them from all those challenges. And here, when we talk about neoliberal challenges, we talk about, some negative sides of capitalism and liberal feminism, which talks about, individualism, which is not very much helpful in the, Afghan context, whereby collective efforts are given special emphasis, that people should not just focus on themselves, but they should focus on the community, their collective well-being. So those are not in line with capitalism. So that's why there's a resistance to capitalism and neoliberalism, which tend to, pull people away from that. So the African transformative feminism is based on collective efforts of people against those challenges. And there is some, borrowing from some of the techniques and tools which have been used by global feminist movement, which also focuses on patriarchy and neoliberalism. They see those as joint forces, which give people, marginalized people, hard time. So what is being done by ATF or African Transformative Feminism is to contextualize, to operationalize the global movement into the Tanzanian context, and be able to address all the challenges that people face, and then come up with very specific tools to translate all the challenges into a language whereby decision makers and policymakers can be able to understand, and then address all those challenges. Now, one of the things which has enabled ATF to be successful is taking into consideration, what I refer to as tribal elasticity. Here I refer to the many tribes existing in Tanzania. So they have taken the different cultures of the different tribes into consideration when interacting with women from different tribes. And in so doing, then they've been able to gain the support from those women, bring them together into a powerful national force, and then be able to influence the policies, and then let them be able to understand that patriarchy and neoliberalism affect them in different ways. So that is one of the areas whereby it's been very successful. So when you talk about tribes, you talk about the influence of the past, things like the slavery, colonialism, nationalism. All those were forces which were in a way trying to affect or destroy the tribes, but those never managed to destroy the tribes. So the tribes continue to exist there, and that's why it's very important to be incorporated in efforts if you have to address the challenges of marginalized people. So ATF has taken those on board. The history has been taken on board to address the challenge, and that has been very successful. Now, one of the tools which has been used by ATF is intensive movement building cycle. So ATF is a theory. The intensive movement building cycle is an operational tool which operationalizes ATF. And this is what makes ATF very unique from other feminist theories, which have just end at the level of theorization as opposed to operationalization at the grassroots level. So intensive movement building cycle is a step-by-step stage whereby grassroots people engage at the initial stages, identifying locally available assets, and engage into participatory action research with our trained African transformative feminists, and then work together to give some feedback to local government officials at the local level, and then interact with our journalists, and then develop some plans to implement. And those plans are being, hosted by community-based organizations, which is also one of the outcome of the intensive movement building cycle. And then all the way to the national gender festival, whereby national level feminists work together with grassroots level feminists to influence policy making process by engaging with decision makers, as well as by advocating for their rights through national level movement, which is being referred to as the National Gender Festival. So that is the step-by-step operationalization of African transformative feminism. Now, the key thing is that ATF is a bottom-up approach. It starts with grassroots people and then work with them together to attain locally addressed needs and link them to the rest of the feminists from across the country, so that they can, as one force, fight against patriarchy and neoliberalism, which are the forces which affect them. So the only way is to come together, apply the share, exchange experience in dealing with all those challenges. So another key factor or success for ATF is they have developed indicators which they can use to do the measurements. Under education, there's some indicators which are like menstrual hygiene management, safety of schools, and access to reproductive health. Those were some of the key issues which have been discovered through participatory action research that has been done in collaboration with grassroots people. And then some other indicators are in the health sector, whereby the focus has been on the access to quality health services and facilities to reduce infant and maternal death, and then reducing home-based care burden for women, as well as increased water availability. So those are the indicators which are always taken into consideration when you focus on health issues. And water is there are a number of indicators there, like a distance to water points, whereby women can access water, availability of water in schools, and collective responsibilities in the management of water sources. With regards to agriculture, the indicators include the participation of both men and women in decision making, and then time provision of inputs, and the eco control and ownership of land. Those are some of the indicators which are being taken into consideration. As far as extractive industries, we talk about things like safety and security of women, and women participation in decision making, and then land compensation whenever large corporations take that into consideration. When they want to take land from host communities. So we have to make sure that that process is as inclusive as possible to ensure that marginalized people are not being affected, because corporations, are being driven by profit making. So that may, be to the disadvantage of marginalized people. And so that is what is being referred as neoliberalism. So another thing whereby African transformative feminism have been focusing on is on using ATF as a policy and analytical tools. So the focus is on analyzing the policies from the African transformative feminist perspective, using the indicators which I've just mentioned earlier, to give specific inputs on the different policies, so that people can be able marginalized people can be able to benefit. And then the local government officials and national level government officials can understand what are the specific needs of the transformative feminisms and how are being affected, and then how can they be able to address it. So this is one of the strengths is whereby ATF has been operationalized. The other part, operationalization of ATF is through the budget analysis. We use ATF as a lens to analyze budget at the local government level, at the national level, as well. So budget are being used to distribute the resources of the country. So using the ATF indicators, then we can be able, as African transformative feminists, can be able to give specific input on how those resources can be allocated so that women are not being marginalized by forces such as neoliberalism, as well as they are not being affected by patriarchy. So on sustainability of ATF, here we focus on the knowledge centers. These are community-based organizations which are one of the outputs of African transformative feminism at the local level. Those are the focal organizing points at the grassroots level, at the village level. So these ones need to be financially sustainable. So here I developed a particular model which is called GRIMO, grassroots empowerment model, whereby they can establish some kind of a revolving fund so that they can sustain themselves financially, but at the same time drive the ATF feminist movement at the grassroots level. So in conclusion, one, global governance and global universal feminism in the current situation have not been able to eliminate inequality. So here we mean that context matters. If you just use theoretical frameworks which have been developed elsewhere to address local challenges, that cannot be able to attain any good results. And that's why we need to be aware of African transformative feminism as a local strand of feminism, which has been successful in addressing local challenges of feminists in Tanzania. So given the Tanzanian context whereby there are a number of tribes, over 120 tribes, some other African countries are in similar settings. So if they employ African transformative feminism, then they can be able to engage with policymakers, inform them so that they can be able to address, the local context, challenges caused by patriarchy and neoliberalism. Local feminism must be rooted in collectivity, anti-patriarchy, anti-neoliberalism, as well cultural relevant, through creating operational methodologies, which can, be able to make this stand at the global level. So we need more examples of African transformative feminism at work in other contexts. That this is what I mean, that this has the potential for upscaling elsewhere and be able to inform feminists in those contexts. So that was my presentation. Thank you very much.